What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Just finished watching the match and Barcelona beat Almeria 3-2, and it's not good feelings, but the most important thing, we have ended off the year on the right mark and hopefully can use this to bounce back at the beginning of 2024. But overall, there are 4 objectives to achieve in this game. 3 points, win by more than 2 goals, good performance, keep a clean sheet, and we only managed to achieve 1 of them. The starting lineup for this match is on the screen right now. It was Iñaki Peña in goal, a back 4 of Cancelo, Araujo, Christensen, Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of Gundogan, Roberto, and Fermin Lopez, and a front 3 of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Joao Felix. We also had Ferran Torres, Jules Koundé, Oil Romeu, and Lamine Yamal making appearances off the bench. The first goal scored in this match was scored by Raphinha. It was a dangerous corner kick from Barcelona, which they used a lot to their advantage in this game. It was headed on target by Araujo, saved by the goalkeeper, and the rebound bounced to Raphinha, and he put it into the open net and gave Barcelona the lead. The second goal in this match was scored by the captain of the first team, Xavi Roberto, and yet again it came from a set piece, and yet again it was from a corner kick. It was Raphinha who put the cross in, and Roberto made a good run in behind the defense and flicked it to the far post. Beautiful finish from him. Very, very difficult header after missing the point-blank header in the first half, but nonetheless gave Barcelona the lead again. And the third and final goal was scored yet again by the captain, Xavi Roberto. He got a brace in this game, and again, it was Barcelona pushing a lot in the final third, trying to get the result. It was Lewandowski who puts in a good through ball in to Roberto. He had a very calm, cool, collected finish, put in the back of the net, and secured Barcelona 3 big points. So overall, the team performance rating on the night, I'm going to be giving it a very, very below par 4 out of 10. I mean, there is nothing really much else to say. We faced the worst team in the league at home and put in yet again another bang average performance. It was lackluster, it was clumsy, and it was poor from the players yet again. We dominated the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. We get the goal. We make mistakes at the back. We can see we then push forward, which leaves us open in the back. We score and bring it back again. Another mistake to make it 2-2. It's just so many individual errors and the players underperforming beyond belief. It's come to reality that you cannot really blame anyone else but these players. These 11 players have a lot of reflection to do. I mean, if you're struggling against the worst team in the league at home, keep in mind as well, we are at home. What's going to happen for the rest of the year? We have tough games, of course. You got to play Madrid, Atletico, you have Girona, you have a doubleheader against Napoli. And again, the objective for the season is to win trophies. But how can you give me confidence we're going to win a trophy this season if we cannot beat the worst team in the league comfortably at home? We barely beat them. Don't beat around the bush here. We got, I would say, if this is anywhere else, a neutral venue or away, we would have dropped points. 100% would have been a draw or a loss. It was because of the home atmosphere, the crowd rallying up the players, that we got the result in the end. And it's something that we have to change, but we've been saying this now for the past 2 or 3 months. So you can copy and paste my team performance ratings from any of the previous 7, 10 games. It would be the exact same thing, apart from the Atletico Madrid game. But it's speaking of the Atletico Madrid game, it's so sad to see that Barcelona can play at that level. We see it maybe we saw for a glimpse for an hour, and since then we've never seen it before or after it again. It is so disappointing. Again, we've won this game, but I feel like we've dropped points because the performance did not back the opponent that we are facing, and I expected a much more comfortable game from the Blaugrana side, and they just didn't produce it yet again. For me, it was a woeful, shocking performance yet again, and it gets a below average 4 out of 10 from me. Let's now get into the players' individual player ratings. So, of course, with the goalkeeper, Iñaki Peña in goal. And tonight, for me, he will be getting an average 6 out of 10. I almost gave him a 5, but of course, that save in the 88th minute did help out with that. He had a very quiet day, Iñaki Peña, but he had 2 key moments. He made a mistake for the goal that we conceded, but then made a brilliant save. So that kind of, evens it out in my opinion. That's why I've given him the average 6 out of 10. His distribution today wasn't the greatest either. I think in the first half it wasn't too bad, but the second half he was giving the ball away seemingly. You saw, if you really looked at it, you saw Araujo and Roberto complain to Iñaki Peña that he has options in front of him, but he'd go long and then we'd lose possession. So pass on from back wasn't the best today. Made 1 big save, 1 big mistake. I think overall it averaged it out to an average performance 6 out of 10 from me. Now for center back partnership in front of him, first on the left hand side, side, it was Andreas Christensen. I have given Christensen tonight a 5 out of 10. I think it was one of the worst Christensen performances that I've seen in the Barcelona shirt. He's been so steady. He's been so solid, 7 out of 10 throughout his whole entire Barcelona career. Played his 50th game for Barcelona today, but today he wasn't great. He's getting done a lot in behind, was pulling players, making risky challenges, was slipping. There was the yellow card, of course, where he pulled on the player. There's a chance in the box where if he doesn't slip and the player doesn't slip either, that's a shot on target. Probably would have been a goal. Got hooked at halftime as well. I would say not rightfully so, but I think since he was on a yellow, it kind of made Xavi's decision a bit easier, but it wasn't a good day for him at Christensen tonight, and I will be giving him a 5 out of 10. But his center back partner on the right-hand side was Araujo, and he will also be getting from me a 5 out of 10, and I would actually go out and say extra. I think Araujo was the worst Barcelona player today, and never thought I would say that in a sentence before, but he was absolutely shocking. I think if he didn't have pace, he probably would have gotten a 2 out of 10 because his pace got him out of trouble a lot today. Defending was poor, made a mistake, of course, for the Almeria equalizer in the 70th minute. Kept the player on side for the first goal as well. Was getting so done in behind as well. Looked a bit clumsy and didn't look so steady that we normally see Araujo, and I don't know why he's been looking like this since the Bayern Munich rumors. He's been shocking. Valencia, apart from the 20 minutes that he played at the start of the second half, was woeful. Today was woeful as well, so I don't know what's going on with him, but he needs to shape up as well. Not the best performance from him. For me, worst player of Barcelona tonight, and I've given him a 5 out of 10. Into the fullbacks now. Firstly, João Cancelo at right back. For me, I'll be giving him a 7 out of 10. Looked really lively in this game. Was moving forward and backwards, of course, coming back and defending a lot of key moments in that first half. Moving forward, of course, and advancing a lot in the second half. Had, I think, one mistake in the second half where he gave the ball away in a very dangerous and open area. Apart from that, I think he was pretty steady. Of course, had a bit of magic for that double crossover that we saw late in the second half, and put in a performance that I expect from Cancelo. Just bumped him up a little bit extra for the effort, especially in the final third, but again, kind of balances it out a bit with the mistake that he made in the second half. But overall, for me, I thought he played well, and I will be giving him a 7 out of 10, as well as his fullback compatriot on the left in Alejandro Balde. I think Balde really improved. I've also given him a 7 out of 10. I think it was a very much the Balde of last season, though I would have probably given him a 6 for being average, but today I've given him a 7 because we're seeing, hopefully a remontada of Alejandro Balde. I think he did play well. I think he moved up and down the left-hand side very well, was using his pace in the defense and behind, was linking up well in the attack, especially when he had Ferran Torres on the left. I think with Felix, wasn't really working too much. Didn't really put any crosses in today, so I guess that kind of shadows his one ability that we all know that's weak from Balde. But he did get behind, of course, one of the corner kick for the second goal as well, which should have been a goal kick. So I think he did put in a good performance today, better than what we've seen in the recent months. So I have given Balde a 7 out of 10. Into the midfield now. Firstly, İlkay Gundogan, who kind of played the pivot, kind of didn't. Him and Roberto were kind of interchanging quite a bit in that position. But I'll go with Gundogan first. I've given him an average 6 out of 10. I thought he was a steady Eddie performance. I think I would have given him a 7 like Cancelo, but he did miss that point blank 1 yard away header, which I thought was shocking. Apart from that, I think he gave the ball away a little bit in the middle of the park. Other than that, I think he was a pretty steady performance from Gundogan, so I have given him a 6 out of 10. Next midfielder, again, playing in the pivot and kind of switching with him, was the captain, Sergi Roberto. I have given Roberto an 8 out of 10, and my man of the match. Look, I mean, people are going to hate it now because he's probably going to end up renewing his deal, or, the remontada for him to stay another year is now definitely on. But that's now 2 back-to-back very good performances from Roberto. Again, against Antwerp in the midfield, played well. I saw a lot of the media attacking him, saying that, oh, if Roberto's starting in your midfield, this club isn't good enough, blah, blah, blah. Thought he played well. And again, today, played very well. Got a brace. It was on the verge of getting a hat-trick of the crossbar if he didn't hit the crossbar. Look, we'll talk about Roberto's future into more transfer video, where we will discuss some of the latest rumors around his renewal. But in terms of what we've seen so far, it's been good. Again, he has put in the worst performance of the season at right back, Villarreal away, I believe 3rd or 4th game of the season. We won't forget that, but you have to remember this past week. He's now come back from injury in the 2 games he has played since his return from injury. Played very, very well. You have to give credit where it's due. I thought he commanded the midfield very well. Was coming back to defend, moving forward. And again, that's probably why Xavi decided to keep him on instead of Raphinha in those dire moments, because he knows that Roberto has that X factor in the final third. So I think Roberto had a very, very good game, and I have given him an 8 out of 10. And the final midfielder in that kind of creative role, in the Pedri role, was of course Fermin Lopez. I've given Fermin Lopez an average 6 out of 10. Honestly, I think a lot of Fermin's work in this game was off the ball. I think his pressing, he was leading the press from the front foot, was putting in tackles, winning the ball back, almost winning the ball back here and there. He was really, aggressive. I think on the ball wasn't the greatest for you. Again, he's in the final third. He's the midfielder who's supposed to be taking risks. I understand that, but give the ball away a lot. We'll dribble past 1 and 2, try to go for the third, then lose it. Pass 1, should have passed it, doesn't. Those decision making in the final third again, which I think the whole entire team needs to improve on, not just him. But again, I want to give him a highlight, his credit for the effort and his intensity and pressure that he did show off the ball in today's match. So I have given him an average 6 out of 10 for today's performance. Into the forwards now. Firstly, Joao Felix at the left wing. I've given Felix tonight a 5 out of 10. Got chopped up at halftime, and rightfully so. Very, very quiet day for him. I don't think he did anything wrong, but just wasn't getting into the game, wasn't on it. I think the back 5 of Almeria really nullified him, because once he got the ball, he had the midfielder, the right wing back, and the right center back all pressing him, all closing down the space. Had that nice turn where he got hit in the face. Apart from that, he was relatively quiet. He had a few shots that were all blocked, weren't on target whatsoever, and wasn't really linking up the play with the likes of Fermin and Lewandowski, and got rightfully subbed off at halftime. Don't think he was the worst player in the pitch. It was Arujo, but he narrowly escaped Joao Felix. I've given him a 5 out of 10 tonight. Next up is the striker, RL9, Robert Lewandowski. I would say I've given him a very generous 6 out of 10, and I will explain why. I think I have to highlight today what Lewandowski did off the ball and also in the build-up play. I think his movement today was very good, was getting in behind, was dropping back to defend, was creating chances. Just in the final third, again, he was absolutely woeful. The cross to Ferran that should have been more decisive and could have been better. I did create the chance for the Gundogan open header, which I have to give credit for. There was a good header from Lewandowski to create the other chance. He had about 4 clear-cut opportunities today, Lewandowski. I think he should have had a goal, 100%. I would even argue he should have had a brace. All the shots he took were directly at the keeper. You're thinking, oh, Maximano had a great game, which he did. No credit taken away from him. But he made a good save, of course, from the Roberto header in the first half, the Lewandowski chance in the first half. But the 2 Lewandowski chances in the second half were both directly at him. And I expect a player at the level of Lewandowski to at least pick a corner and put it there. If the keeper goes and makes a worldly save and guesses you're going to go that way and saves it, fair enough. But he's shooting it right in his, square range. He's not putting it in difficult areas whatsoever. So again, Lewandowski is same as always, but I want to give him the credit today for the build-up, his involvement, especially before you reach the 18-yard box. I think Lewandowski did put in a good shift today, so credit where it's due for him. I've given him, I think, an average, very generous as well, 6. Could definitely argue for a 5. And last but not least is, of course, the right winger, and that is Raphinha. I've given Raphinha a 7 out of 10. Got a goal, got an assist, so credit where it's due for that, of course, but I think he actually had a very, very good game. I think he was definitely one of the best players for Barcelona, was linking up very well, great touches on the ball, was making driving runs. The only thing that I think that's bittersweet about Raphinha's performance is what you see on the screen right now, and that is his celebration. I mean, a report came out from Hanila Kodes from Cope at halftime saying that, oh, Raphinha did this celebration because he wants to shut off the media and criticism. He doesn't think he deserves criticism. Excuse fucking me? You were at Football Club Barcelona. If you don't perform, criticism's gonna come. What I've been saying the whole entire season. Everything up until the final third, you've been doing well. But in the final third, you've been shite. Absolutely shite. Yeah, he has been involved, I think, in 4 of our last 6 goals. With 3 assists and a goal. But again, those numbers should be doubled from what I'm seeing and the chance that you're seeing. It's constructive criticism. We're not telling you to get out. We're not bashing you. We're not vandalizing your house and forcing you to leave like we've done with other players in the past. And you have the nerve and the ball to do this. And what's worse, he did the celebration, fucking conceded it 2 minutes later. Makes it look like a right prat. Again, I don't understand with these Brazilians, why they keep, they get a little bit of criticism and they act like they're against the whole freaking world. Look at the fans today. They clapped you off against today against Almeria. They clapped you off against Atletico Madrid. We recognize when a player performs well and when they don't perform well. We are criticizing the fact that you have to improve in the final third, lad. Look at the chances you missed today's game as well. Come on, the mentality of Raphinha, I think, is going to really cost him his Barcelona career. And again, I want to highlight again, everything today up until the final third was well, scored a tap-in. That's pretty much it. I think, again, he should have had another goal. He had the long-range chance in the first half. In the second half, gotten behind. Again, his decision-making isn't the best. He chopping left, right, and center, and then get a corner. Again, there's things that he can definitely improve upon, but him doing the celebration, I think, really ruins his performance in my opinion. But overall, credit where it's due. I think I said, like, again, he's probably, I think, the second best player after Roberto, but celebration is not needed whatsoever. And for me, he gets a 7 out of 10 for tonight's performance. Now for the substitutions, the subs were Jules Koundé, Ferran Torres, Oriol Romeu, and Lamine Yamal. To be fair, I think all the subs today had a very, very good impact. Now on Koundé and Ferran, they did play 45 minutes, so I will give them a proper rating. I'll probably give them both a 7 out of 10. I thought they both came in and absolutely changed the game. More specifically, Jules Koundé, the back looked very, very solid. Ferran Torres getting in behind, squeezing in those spaces, creating chances. Should have had a goal, did miss a few chances. Yet again, sky's blue, grass is green. Romeu came in. We did concede the second goal from a foul off of Romeu. I don't know if you want to, point that at him, but once we got the lead and we had a bit of control, he looked all right. And Lamine Yamal again came in, was average. I think he came in, had a few moments, but again didn't get on the ball too much. I think he came in with about 14 minutes to go. But I think the halftime substitutions, they both were absolutely crucial and they play a big part in Barcelona getting 3 points. So again, I would give the first two, Jules Koundé and Ferran, probably a 7. Romeu, since he cost us the goal, probably a 5, and then Lamine Yamal, an average 6 out of 10. And last but not the least is, of course, the manager, Xavi Hernandez, who tonight for me will be getting a 7 out of 10. You're probably thinking, why are you giving Xavi such a high score, above average 6? We barely won the game. Like you said, we performed poorly. I agree. But that has nothing to do with Xavi. Again, the reason why we performed poor today was because the decision making and decisiveness in the final third was yet again shite and individual mistakes. For the first goal, Araujo not closing down the player, keeping him onside. Second goal, Araujo and Naki Peña running into each other. This is not Xavi's fault. I want to give Xavi a lot of credit tonight. First in the lineup was very, very good. Starting Roberto ahead of Romeu, I think, was a fantastic decision, and look what happened. Came out correctly. I did have Roberto in my lineup for the match preview, but I didn't think Xavi would do it, so credit where it's due there. Substitution at halftime, changed the game, absolutely spot on. Christensen with a yellow card coming off, Joao Felix coming off for Ferran Torres. Excellent. We brought on Lamine Yamal instead of Raphinha and kept on Roberto. A lot of people were saying that he should have taken off Roberto or Gundogan to have 4 attackers and then have Romeu sit with either Gundogan or Roberto, but nope, he went with the direct change, and that caused an impact again. So I have no room to really criticize Xavi. Again, we didn't perform well. We didn't reach the objectives for this game. We didn't win by 2 goals. Didn't keep a clean sheet. Didn't perform well. So that's, of course, going to affect his rating. But I've given him above average. And again, got the 3 points. And it came down to his players making those mistakes in the final third to not reaching those objectives. I think Xavi had an absolutely good game. Tactically wise, his in-game management was good. I mean, he changed the game with the substitutions. Made some freshness as well. I would love to see him. I would love to see, Mark Guayu, Hector Fort, Casado, but with the game not going as planned, when i.e. chasing the game, really had no opportunity for the youngsters to come in. So overall, I think it was a good day at the office for Xavi, and I've given him a 7 out of 10. So that was my match review for Barcelona versus Almeria in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the performance, your player ratings, and your manager rating as well. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Go, go, go, go, go.